NewsX World. A person has been detained and later released in connection with the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, mother of NBC's Savannah Guthrie. Nancy, 84, was reported missing on February the 1st from her home in Arizona. The FBI had released disturbing footage of a masked man approaching her door on the night of her disappearance. The suspect, seen wearing gloves, a mask and carrying a backpack, tampered with the doorbell camera before disappearing. Authorities detained an individual for questioning, but after a search, the person was released. Ransom letters demanding payment have also been received by the Guthrie family. Savannah, along with her siblings, has pleaded for the public's help in finding their mother, who has health issues and requires regular medication. The FBI continues to investigate the situation. We are now being joined by Major General Sudhakar G, who's a senior geopolitical and strategic defence expert. Thank you so much for joining us here today on NewsX World. In situations like this, the FBI released the video of the suspect in a mask, and it's obviously attracted lots of attention from the public. What challenges do investigators face in a search like this, including collecting reliable evidence, confirming leads, and handling public expectations?
Good evening, Ellie. If that question is meant for me, all I would say that the whole issue is revolving around the mother of the anchor, Nancy Guthrie, staying alone in a house, and to facilitate the investigation. My take on the whole issue is that the ecosystem of Inland Law Enforcement Agency and Homeland Security has to factor in these kind of challenges in future and take preventive measures so that lonely old ladies like Nancy Guthrie also doesn't get repeated in future. Second thing is communication. There has to be some kind of a communication with such kind of people in country like US. There are elderly people who stay alone in far-flung areas. US has got a well-established network of communication. I really don't know. Along with the communication, some kind of an alarm system has to be inbuilt. Now that the artificial intelligence has come in a big way, as also the robotics, the security system of every house where the elderly people are staying alone has to be looked into. They have to be connected into a national network so that early and preventive steps can be taken in order to prevent a recurrence of such kind of things in future. Last but not the least is that there has to be a conceptual indulgence of the think tank, people who apply themselves cerebrally, that if it has happened to a well-known personality, that of the TV anchor's mother, it could happen to any ordinary man also. There are people who are below this line of economic standard. So is there a case in point where the Constitution of America also looks into these kind of threats in future and takes preventive measure legally and constitutionally? Back to Ellie.
And as we know that the family have responded publicly to the disappearance in the latest development. What role does media coverage play in shaping the search and public engagement?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question that you have raised. Actually speaking, it is very difficult to map the lifestyle of every individual, every family, regardless of the countries wherever they are residing. When you are talking about the public engagement and the responsibility, I personally feel every such kind of challenge has to be looked at with a spectrum of short, medium, and long term. We are aware of the fact when you talk about in the reverse order, firstly the long term, You see, America is going through the aging population challenges. With the aging population, there is way of life is different. There is a lot of freedom, autonomy, independence. Financial freedom is particularly very um, quite visible over there in America. So therefore, their lifestyle is totally different. The culture is different, and people live independently in this manner. But the public responsibility and the engagement that I feel, there is a requirement to actually revisit these kind of conceptual societal issues, and there is a requirement of getting back to the joint family system, not the nuclear family system. The joint family system will always cater for these kind of challenges if we actually look into it. And number two point is that perhaps the awareness level of the people, that is also the social media, use of social media, these kind of things will always be relevant to find be a solution provider to these kind of challenges in future. And last but not the least is that the lady, despite being so old, why was she staying alone? That is what the moot question is coming up. There may be a conspiracy behind all this. Such kind of a thing happening, challenging and asking for ransom. That means this could have been intercepted. It is not overnight it has happened. This, she must have been getting frequent calls or getting emails or social media platform messages. Why hadn't she gone to the police at the earliest opportunity, thereby enabling the police authorities to intervene much prior to this particular incident took place? So these are a couple of issues which are coming to our mind, and maybe the U.S. Homeland Security or the internal law and order situation will do well by looking into all these aspects in the spectrum of short, medium, and long term. As a nation, at the level of strategic level, at the regional and at the local level, and coming to the domestic unit, we need to look at the core issue so that these things can be avoided for challenges emerging in times ahead. Back to you, Ali.
Thank you so much, Major General Sadakaji, for joining us here today on NewsX World. In the US, the Federal